The rain-slicked rooftop of the Pinnacle pulsed with bass-heavy beats and the sharp tang of spilled bourbon. But Elijah's world narrowed to the heat of Logan's breath against his neck. "I can't do this anymore," Logan slurred. His voice a jagged blade slicing through the laughter of their oblivious friends, fingers digging into Elijah's hips like he was anchoring himself to a sinking ship. In that split second, as Logan's lips crashed against his in a desperate, public kiss that tasted of whiskey and unspoken lies, Elijah felt the first crack in the foundation of everything they'd built, their secret, their love, their fragile American dream unraveling under the indifferent New York stars. Elijah shoved him back, heart hammering like a freight train in his chest, the city lights below blurring into a smear of yellow and red. "What the fuck, Logan?" he hissed, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand, tasting betrayal sharper than the cheap tequila burning his throat. Around them, the party swirled on. Wall Street bros in slim-fit suits clinking glasses, influencers snapping selfies against the skyline, nobody noticing the bomb that had just detonated in the corner by the fire pit. But Elijah noticed. He always noticed, because loving Logan meant carrying the weight of their hidden world on his shoulders. Every stolen glance in crowded bars, every midnight fuck in the shadows of Brooklyn brownstones, every whispered, "I love you," muffled against a pillow to keep the neighbors from hearing. It hadn't always been like this. 6 months ago, they'd met at a dive bar in the East Village, the kind of place where the jukebox played Springsteen unironically and the air smelled like stale peanuts and possibility. Elijah was 28, fresh off a soul-crushing breakup with a guy who'd ghosted him after coming out to his Bible Belt family, nursing a pint and sketching half-hearted tattoos on a napkin. His side hustle as an ink artist barely paying the rent on his Astoria walk-up. Logan burst in like a storm front, all broad shoulders and easy grins, a 30-year-old firefighter from Queens with calloused hands that smelled faintly of smoke and pine, buying rounds for the bar because that's what you do when the world's on fire. One shot led to a debate over the Mets' playoff chances, which devolved into a makeout session in the alley behind the bar, rain soaking their clothes as Logan's mouth claimed Elijah's like it was the only thing that made sense in a city that chewed up dreams and spat out bones. From there, it was a whirlwind. Late-night runs through Central Park at dawn, Logan's laughter echoing off the reservoir as they raced like kids escaping curfew. Lazy Sundays in Elijah's cramped apartment, tangled in sheets that smelled like takeout lo mein and Logan's cheap cologne, binge-watching old episodes of Queer as Folk while debating if Brian Kinney was a hero or a cautionary tale. Logan was out to his crew at the firehouse, proudly so, with a rainbow sticker on his locker and a no bullshit attitude that dared anyone to say shit. But Elijah? He was still half in the closet. Doors cracked open but chains rattling. His conservative parents in Ohio none the wiser. His freelance gigs in straight-laced galleries demanding he play the part of the artistic everyman. Logan didn't push, he just loved harder, filling the silences with stories of pulling families from burning high-rises. His voice roughened by the job but softened when he traced the tattoos on Elijah's arms like they were maps to buried treasure. Tonight's party was supposed to be their breakthrough. Logan's buddy from the academy, Marcus, had thrown it to celebrate a big promotion, rooftop at the Pinnacle, skyline views that screamed, "We made it," in this unforgiving city. Elijah had spent the afternoon agonizing over his outfit, settling on slim black jeans and a white shirt that hugged his lean frame, the one Logan called his "fuck me formal." They'd arrived hand in hand in the cab, but as soon as they stepped into the crowd, Logan's grip loosened, his eyes darting like he was scanning for escape routes. "Just friends tonight." "Yeah," he'd murmured, clapping Elijah on the back too hard. the bro-code armor snapping into place. Elijah nodded, swallowing the familiar bitterness. Because that's what you do when love means compromise in a world that still side-eyes two guys holding hands south of Chelsea. But 2 hours in, after Logan's fourth Jack and Coke, the cracks showed. He started loud laughing at Marcus's dumb jokes, arms slung around some random guy's shoulders. A tech bro named Tyler with a man bun and a trust fund glow. His free hand brushing Elijah's thigh under the high-top table when he thought no one was looking. Elijah played it cool, sipping his gin and tonic, chatting up a gallery curator about Basquiat's queer undercurrents. But inside, the jealousy coiled like smoke. Then came the toast. Marcus raising his glass to the brothers who've got your back. Through the flames and the bullshit, Logan stood, swaying, and instead of the expected bro speech, he locked eyes with Elijah across the fire pit, the flames dancing in his pupils like hellfire. "I gotta say something," Logan bellowed, voice carrying over the thump of EDM, drawing eyes like moths to a porch light. Elijah's stomach dropped, a premonition colder than the autumn chill seeping through his shirt. "This city's a beast, right? Eats you alive if you let it. But Elijah here. Fuck, man. He's the one who pulled me out of the ashes." Laughter rippled, assuming it was firehouse metaphor, but Logan's gaze burned hotter, drunk courage stripping away the filters. "Nah, for real. Last year, after that call in the Bronx, the one where we lost Mikey, I was done. Spiraling. But Eli, he saw me. Really saw me. And every night since, he's the reason I wake up not hating the mirror." The crowd murmured, polite claps starting, but Logan wasn't done. He stumbled forward, grabbing Elijah's wrist, yanking him up like a puppet on strings. "He's my everything. My heart, my home, fuck the labels. I love him." The kiss followed, sloppy and fierce, Logan's stubble scraping Elijah's jaw, his tongue demanding entry like it could rewrite the rules of their secrecy. Elijah froze, then pushed, the champagne flute slipping from his fingers to shatter on the concrete, shards scattering like the fragments of his composure. Chaos erupted in slow motion. Marcus's jaw dropped, Tyler's man bun tilted in confusion. A woman in a red dress gasped loud enough to cut through the music. Whispers spread like wildfire. "Wait, are they? No way." Logan's straight edge. "Right?" Elijah wrenched free, cheeks flaming, the weight of 24 stares pinning him like specimen slides. "Logan, stop," he whispered. But it was too late, the genie was out, the secret scorched into the night air. Logan blinked, the booze fog lifting just enough for regret to seep in. "Eli. Shit. I didn't mean." But Elijah was already backing away. Heart a war drum. The rooftop suddenly too small, the city too vast. He bolted for the stairwell, rain starting to patter on the glass dome overhead, mirroring the storm breaking inside him. How dare Logan, after all the promises to wait, to let Elijah control the coming out on his terms? This wasn't romance. It was recklessness, a drunken grenade lobbed into their lives. Down in the lobby, Elijah slumped against the marble wall, phone buzzing with texts he couldn't face. Logan's name lit up first. "Baby, I'm sorry. Come back. We can fix this." Fix what? The trust he'd just nuked? Elijah's fingers trembled as he typed back. "You just outed me to half of Queens. What the hell were you thinking?" No response. Minutes ticked by, the doorman's sympathetic glance burning holes in his pride. Finally, a knock on the revolving door. Logan, soaked to the bone, blazer slung over his arm, eyes red-rimmed but clear now, the alcohol's haze burned off by the downpour. Eli, please. Logan's voice cracked, that firefighter steel melting into something raw, vulnerable, the man who'd confessed his fears of dying young over takeout falafel, the one who'd traced Elijah's scars from a childhood of hiding who he was. I panicked. The speech. It just poured out. I hate pretending. Hiding us. It kills me. Elijah laughed, bitter and broken, sliding down the wall until he sat on the cold floor. And outing me doesn't? My folks. Logan. The gallery. Everyone who thinks I'm just the quiet artist type. You decided for both of us because you were buzzed. Logan dropped to his knees, water pooling around them, reaching for Elijah's hand but stopping short, like he knew he'd lost the right. I know. God, I know. But maybe it's time. We're in New York. For fuck's sake, the city's queer as hell. We could be us. Out and proud. Like we deserve. The word hung heavy, laced with the American promise of reinvention, but Elijah felt only the drag of reality. His parents' voices echoed in his head, son, we love you, but that lifestyle. The judgmental stares at family Thanksgivings. The freelance checks that dried up when clients sniffed out agenda. Logan had his firehouse brotherhood, battle-tested and accepting. Elijah had eggshells. They sat there until the rain eased, the lobby clock ticking toward 2 a.m. Logan talked, rambling apologies mixed with memories, the time they danced in the kitchen to Tiny Dancer, Logan's off-key baritone making Elijah snort laugh till his sides hurt. Slowly, Elijah's hand found Logan's, fingers lacing like they had that first night in the alley. We talk to Marcus tomorrow, Elijah said finally, voice steadying. Damage control. And no more hiding. But on my timeline, okay, we do this together. Logan nodded, pulling him into a hug that smelled of rain and redemption, their heartbeats syncing against the hum of the elevator. As they stepped into the street, hailed a cab back to Astoria, Elijah let himself believe it, that love could weather storms, that New York's chaos might just forge them stronger. But deep down, a whisper nagged, trust, once cracked, doesn't mend clean. The morning after dawned gray and unforgiving, sunlight slicing through the blinds like accusations. Elijah woke to the scent of burnt coffee and Logan's bare back as he hunched over the stove, flipping pancakes with the focus of a man atoning for Armageddon. Morning. Handsome, Logan said, flashing that crooked smile that usually melted Elijah's defenses. But today it landed like a misfired flare, warm, but singed at the edges. Elijah groaned, rolling onto his stomach, the tattoo on his forearm, a phoenix rising from subway grime, inked after their first real fight, itching like a fresh wound. How's the hangover? He asked, voice muffled by the pillow, buying time before diving into the wreckage. Like I got trampled by a Dalmatian parade. Logan slid a plate onto the nightstand, syrup dripping like liquid gold, then perched on the bed's edge, his knee brushing Elijah's thigh in that casual intimacy they'd perfected. But worth it if you're still talking to me. Elijah sat up, forking into the stack without tasting it. The texts had piled up overnight. Marcus with a string of emojis, fire, heart, question mark. Tyler shooting his shot with a winky face. Heard you're single? Drinks. And worst, Elijah's mom from Ohio. Call me, Honey, your cousin mentioned something from a friend in the city? Logan's outburst had ricocheted faster than a subway rumor, hitting fault lines Elijah had spent years reinforcing. They spent the day in lockdown mode, phones on silent, blinds drawn against the Astoria bustle of Greek bakeries and laundromats. Logan paced like a caged wolf, recounting the party in fragmented bursts. How the jack had hit hard after a brutal shift, pulling a double at a warehouse blaze in Red Hook. How Marcus's toast had stirred up ghosts of Mikey, their fallen brother, making the fake-it-till-you-make-it charade feel like suffocation. I saw you across the flames, Eli, laughing with that curator chick, and it hit me we're fireproof together. Why pretend otherwise? Elijah listened, sketching absent-mindedly on a sketchpad, swirling vines that hid thorns, while the words sank in. Logan's vulnerability was his kryptonite, the rough-hewn honesty that had hooked him from day one. But beneath it lurked the pattern. Logan's impulsivity, his hero complex, charging into emotional infernos without a hose. Last month, it had been dragging Elijah to a Pride after-party unannounced, leaving him cornered by activists grilling his allyship. Before that, a tattoo Logan insisted on matching. A compass rose on their wrists symbolizing always finding north. Inked in a haze of post-sex endorphins, Elijah later regretted when the artist asked if they were brothers. By afternoon, they ventured out for air, bundling into hoodies against the crisp bite of fall. The streets of Astoria hummed with life. Nanas yelling at delivery guys in Italian, halal carts steaming falafel, the elevated train rattling overhead like God's own roller coaster. They walked to the waterfront, hands brushing but not holding, the East River churning gray under the Hell Gate Bridge. Remember our first date? Logan asked, stopping at a bench scarred with lovers' initials. Picnic here, that shitty bodega wine, you spilling it on my lap and laughing till you cried. Elijah smiled despite himself, the memory a balm, Logan dabbing at the stain with his sleeve, turning it into an excuse to pull Elijah closer, their first real kiss tasting of Merlot and river salt. Yeah. You said you wanted to build a life here, away from the small-town bullshit that made you hide. And you said New York's too big for secrets. Logan turned, eyes searching Elijah's face, the wind tousling his hair into boyish spikes. I meant it last night. Not the drunk part, the love part. Let's go public. Tell your folks. Hell, let's get one of those commitment ceremony things, like in the movies. The idea terrified and thrilled. A cocktail of queer Americana. Rainbow flags waving from brownstones. Couples like them profiled in Out magazine. Building empires from love and grit. But Elijah's hesitation rooted deep. His dad's heart attack last year. The hospital bills that forced Elijah to freelance for conservative clients. His mom's passive-aggressive emails about finding a nice girl. Coming out meant bridges burned. Safety nets shredded in a city where one wrong vibe could tank a career. Not yet, Elijah said softly, squeezing Logan's hand now, the compass tattoos aligning like fate's wink. But soon. Promise. They sealed it with a kiss. Slow and deliberate, the river whispering approval. Back home, they made love for the first time since the blow-up. Gentle, exploratory, Logan's hands mapping Elijah's body like he was relearning sacred ground. Afterward, curled against Logan's chest, Elijah traced the scars on his lover's ribs from a roof collapse 2 years back, each one a testament to survival. I trust you, he murmured, half asleep, the words a leap of faith. But trust is a house of cards in hurricane season. 2 weeks later, the real storm hit, not with rain, but with fire. Logan's shift turned nightmare. A tenement blaze in Harlem, flames licking up like vengeful spirits, trapping a family on the third floor. He pulled the dad and kids out, lungs searing from smoke. But the mom, she didn't make it. Logan came home at dawn, collapsing on the couch in his soot-streaked gear, eyes hollow as the rubble. Elijah held him through the sobs, the kind that rack a man like seismic shifts. Logan's fists clenched white-knuckled on Elijah's shirt. "I should have gone back," he choked. One more sweep, the department mandated leave, counseling, paperwork, but grief doesn't clock out. Logan dove into the bottle, stashing fifths in the fridge behind the almond milk, his once steady hands shaking as he poured. Elijah tried, cooking Logan's favorite meatball subs from the Italian deli, dragging him to therapy sessions at the firehouse clinic, even sketching a memorial portrait of the mom from news photos, her smile fierce and maternal. But Logan withdrew, nights spent staring at the ceiling, days lost in runs that stretched miles too far. "I need space," he said one evening, voice flat as the East River at low tide. Just to breathe. Space turned to distance. Logan crashed at Marcus's more nights than not, claiming bro time to process. But Elijah smelled the lie in the late-night silences. The way Logan's texts grew curt, "Out with the guys. Don't wait up." Paranoia crept in. Elijah scrolling Instagram at 3 a.m., seeing Logan's stories tagged at dive bars in Bushwick. Arms around the same faces, Tyler included, that man bun gleaming like a taunt. The breaking point came mid-November, a chill settling over the city like a shroud. Elijah had a gallery show downtown, his first solo, tattoos translated to canvas, swirling narratives of hidden desires and urban rebirth. Logan promised to come, clean and sober, their public debut as a couple. Elijah prepped for days, nerves electric, the space in Soho, white walls humming with potential, collectors sipping Chardonnay while eyeing his pieces like forbidden fruit. Opening night, Elijah floated through the crowd in a tailored vest, charming gallerists with talk of queer iconography in street art. Midnight neared, the show a hit, red dots multiplying like affirmations, and still no Logan. Texts went unread, calls to voicemail. Panic gnawed. Elijah slipping into the back alley for air, the dumpster's stink grounding him. Then, his phone buzzed, not Logan, but Marcus. "Dude, Logan's at the dive. Rough shape. Come get him?" The dive. A Hell's Kitchen haunt, all sticky floors and glory days, where firefighters drowned sorrows in pitchers of light beer. Elijah cabbed it over, heart a lead weight, the neon sign flickering open like a bad omen. Inside, the air was thick with smoke and regret. Logan held court at the corner booth, shirt unbuttoned to his sternum, laughing too loud at Tyler's jokes, a half-empty bottle of Jameson between them. Elijah's stomach twisted as he approached, the compass tattoo on Logan's wrist mocking him, north lost. "Hey," he said, voice steady by sheer will. Logan looked up, eyes glassy, then narrowing in blurry recognition. "Eli, shit, the show's tonight, right? Tyler here was just, save it." Elijah's gaze flicked to Tyler's hand on Logan's thigh, casual but loaded, the smear of gloss on Logan's collar a scarlet letter. Betrayal hit like a sucker punch, sharper than the rooftop kiss, because this wasn't impulse, it was choice, repeated in the haze of grief and gin. Tyler slunk away, mumbling excuses, leaving Logan swaying. It's not. We didn't. But the lie died on his lips, replaced by a groan as he buried his face in his hands. Elijah stood frozen, the bar's jukebox crooning wicked game like cosmic irony. No, I don't want to fall in love. You promised, Elijah whispered, tears hot on his cheeks. Space. Not this. Logan reached out, but Elijah recoiled, the touch now poison. I fucked up. Again. But I love you, Eli. That's real. Love. Elijah spat, the word curdling. This is drowning, Logan. And you're pulling me under. He turned, pushing through the door into the night, the cold slapping sense into him. Behind, Logan's plea, wait, faded into the traffic roar. Back at the gallery, the after-party buzzed oblivious, but Elijah's world had grayed out. He nursed a seltzer, smiling through gritted teeth, selling 2 pieces to a collector who gushed about raw emotion. Raw. Yeah. By closing, exhaustion claimed him, cab home a blur of rain-streaked windows. Logan was there when he arrived, slumped on the stoop, duffel at his feet. I walked. Needed to see you. His face was a map of ruin, stubble shadowing hollow cheeks, eyes pleading like a kicked dog. Elijah unlocked the door, letting him in but not touching, the space between them a chasm. Why, Logan? Grief I get. But Tyler? That's not coping, that's running. Logan collapsed on the couch, head in hands. It started innocent. Drinks after shifts. He listens, doesn't judge the darkness. One thing led. But it wasn't you. Could never be. Sobs racked him, the big bad firefighter crumbling. And damn if Elijah's heart didn't crack open. Pity flooding the anger. They talked till dawn. Ugly truths spilling like the rain outside. Logan's fear of vulnerability post-fire. How Elijah's hesitation on coming out made him feel like a dirty secret. Elijah's terror of losing his fragile stability. The way Logan's chaos threatened to upend it. We're both broken, Elijah said finally, voice hoarse. But maybe that's the point. We fix each other. Logan nodded, tears carving tracks through the grime. No more hiding. From you, from anyone. They fell into bed, not for sex but solace, arms wrapped tight against the world's spin. But as sleep tugged, Elijah wondered, could words rebuild what actions had torched? In America, land of second chances, maybe. Or maybe some fires leave only ash. Winter clamped down on New York like a vice. Snow dusting the fire escapes and turning Astoria's sidewalks into treacherous ice rinks. Elijah and Logan's truce held, fragile as a hungover promise. Logan hitting AA meetings in a church basement off Steinway. Elijah booking therapy slots between tattoo commissions. Their apartment a bunker of half-hearted domesticity. Mornings started with black coffee and careful kisses. Logan's hand lingering on Elijah's hip as he headed out. The compass tattoos a talisman against backsliding. Publicly, they tested waters. Hand-holding at an indie flick in the quad. Logan's thumb stroking Elijah's knuckles during moonlight's tenderest scenes, drawing a few raised brows but no outright stares. The firehouse grapevine buzzed. Marcus cornering Logan with backslaps and, about time, man, while Elijah's gallery crowd nodded approvingly, one curator even pitching a queer resilience series featuring his work. Felt like progress. The American dream repackaged. 2 guys against the gridlock, carving space in a city that rewarded hustle. But beneath the thaw, fissures lingered. Logan's shifts amped up with holiday blazes. Christmas trees igniting like festive infernos. And the distance crept back. Texts delayed by hours. Calls cut short by sirens. Elijah buried it in work, inking intricate sleeves for clients spilling stories of their own hidden lives. A closeted banker etching a hidden rainbow into his bicep. A drag queen memorializing lost lovers in thorny roses. Art's therapy, he'd tell them, but nights alone. Sketchpad blank. The irony stung, his own heart a canvas going unpainted. The real unraveling started with a call from Ohio, mid-December. Elijah's mom, voice tinny over the landline. Your aunt saw something online, Elijah. About you and a man from that party. The words landed like a gut punch. The internet's long arms stretching from New York stoops to Midwest porches. Turns out, Tyler, vindictive little shit, had posted a blurry clip of Logan's rooftop confession. Captioned firefighter comes out swinging. NYC drama. It went mini-viral in niche queer feeds. Shares snowballing to family group chats. Elijah's dad got on the line next. Gruff as ever. Son, we don't judge. But this. It's a phase, right? Like that art school nonsense. The plea in his voice. Fear of losing the good boy they'd raised, twisted the knife. Elijah hung up promising a visit. But the seed of doubt sprouted. Was Logan worth the fallout? The man who'd lit his world. Then torched the edges? He confronted Logan that night. Snow falling fat flakes outside their window. The radiator hissing like accusatory steam. Logan arrived late, smelling of char and exhaustion, dropping his helmet by the door. Saw the video, Elijah said, shoving his phone under Logan's nose. The clip playing on loop, Logan's slurred declaration. The kiss. Cheers turning to awkward coughs. Logan's face paled, then flushed. Fuck. Tyler's an asshole. I told him to delete it. He reached for Elijah, but Elijah stepped back, the chasm widening. Told him? After what happened at the dive. The words hung, venomous. They danced around it since. Logan's one-night slip buried under apologies and amends, but now it festered. You think a viral clip erases that? My family's ripping me apart. Logan. Dad thinks I'm throwing my life away. Logan's jaw tightened. That firefighter fire sparking. And you think I'm the villain? I own my shit, eh? Counseling. Showing up. But you? Still half out. Still scared. Maybe if you'd backed me that night. Backed you. Elijah's voice rose, echoing off the peeling wallpaper. You outed me drunk. Fucked around grieving. And now this? I'm not your coming out prop. The fight escalated. Words flying like shrapnel. Logan's accusations of Elijah's emotional walls. Elijah's litany of Logan's recklessness. A vase shattered, Elijah's throw. Regret instant, the porcelain shards skittering like fleeing roaches. Logan stormed out into the blizzard, door slamming thunderous, leaving Elijah amid the wreckage, sobs racking him till his ribs ached. Days blurred into a cold war. Logan couch-surfed at Marcus's, texts a minefield of miss you and we need to talk. Elijah threw himself into Christmas commissions, festive sleeves with subtle queer twists, elves winking amid the holly, while dodging family calls, his mom's voicemails pleading come home. Let's pray on it. The city decked in garish lights felt mocking. Rockefeller Center's tree a gaudy reminder of joy he'd lost. Reconciliation flickered mid-holidays. Logan showing up Christmas Eve with a truce flag. Takeout from their spot. Gyros wrapped in foil. And a small box inside. A silver keychain shaped like the Brooklyn Bridge engraved our anchor. "I booked us a weekend away," he said, voice rough from disuse. "The Catskills. No city, no drama. Just us." Elijah hesitated, the gesture melting ice, then nodded. "Okay. But we fixed this right. No more half measures." The cabin was a postcard escape. Log walls creaking under snow load, a stone fireplace crackling, the wood silent save for owl hoots. They arrived at dusk. The drive tense but thawing with Logan's playlist. Springsteen crooning Thunder Road. Arms around shoulders at stoplights. Inside, they unpacked hurts like old luggage. Logan admitting the fire's trauma had unearthed buried shame from his Queen's Catholic upbringing. Hookups with Tyler a numb rebellion. Elijah confessing his fear of abandonment, rooted in exes who'd bailed when family pressure peaked. By firelight, wine loosening tongues, they made love fierce and forgiving, bodies reconnecting like puzzle pieces warped by heat. Logan's whispers of forever branding Elijah's skin. Morning brought sledding in powdery drifts, laughter echoing as they tumbled into drifts, snowflakes catching in lashes. "This is us," Logan said, pulling Elijah close, breath fogging the air. Messy, but real. Back in the city, resolve hardened. Elijah called his parents, voice steady. "It's not a phase, Mom. Logan, he's my future." The silence stretched. Then her sigh. "We love you, son. Always." Not acceptance, but a door cracked. Progress in increments. The American way. Logan's firehouse threw a low-key New Year's bash. Elijah by his side, hands linked openly. Toasts rang out. To new beginnings. Marcus clapping Logan's back. The crew's cheers a chorus of solidarity. As midnight struck, confetti raining, Logan pulled Elijah into a kiss under the drop-ceiling disco ball, the world fading to their pulse. But fate, that cruel editor, had rewrites in store. February brought a call at 4 a.m. Dispatch tones blaring on Logan's phone. A multi-alarm in Chelsea. Warehouse turned rave den. Hundreds trapped. "Stay safe," Elijah murmured, kissing him goodbye, the door clicking shut like a guillotine. Hours crawled. News helicopters chopped overhead. Then, the knock, 2 uniforms at the door, faces etched with the routine of bad news. "Mr. Ramirez?" is about Logan Hayes. Elijah's knees buckled, the world tilting. Logan had gone back in, always the hero for a straggler, a kid pinned under beams. The collapse took him quick. They said, "No suffering." But Elijah suffered, the scream tearing from his throat animalistic, collapsing amid the uniform's awkward condolences. The funeral was a blur. Bagpipes wailing Amazing Grace outside the Queen's Chapel. Firefighters in dress blues saluting the casket. Elijah clutching Logan's helmet like a lifeline. Marcus gripped his shoulder. "He loved you, man. Saved that kid, carried him out. Then, boom, Heroes Ends. American as apple pie and PTSD. Grief hollowed Elijah. Days lost to bed. Sketches turning dark. Phoenixes charred. Compasses spinning wild. Friends rallied. Gallery shows postponed. AA buddies dropping meals. But the void gaped. Logan's closet yielded relics. A half-smoked pack of smokes. His Mets cap. The bridge keychain Elijah now dangled from his rear view. One night, whiskey bottle half gone, Logan's brand. Elijah scrolled old photos. Rooftop kisses. River picnics. their tattoos aligned in mirror selfies. Laughter bubbled through tears, the pain sharpening memories into jewels. He called his parents, voice cracking, "I need you." They came, flying coach, hug stiff but genuine, his dad muttering strong kid, mom baking pies that tasted of home. Spring crept in, tentative green on the stoops. Elijah's next show sold out. From ashes, canvases born of loss, raw and redemptive. Buyers wept, one whispering, "This is hope," and it was. Logan hadn't fixed him. He'd cracked him open, letting light flood the fractures. Trust, shattered, reformed not whole but mosaic, beautiful in breakage. Elijah dated casually, a barista with kind eyes, but Logan's ghost lingered, a benevolent haunt. In New York's relentless churn, he walked taller, out and unashamed, inking stories for those still hiding. Love, he'd learned, wasn't possession, it was the courage to burn bright, even if it left scars. Summer scorched the city into a pressure cooker, asphalt shimmering like a bad acid trip, the subway a sardine tin of sweat and attitude. Elijah thrived in it, his tattoo parlor in Williamsburg booming, walk-ins lining up for Phoenix resets, designs inspired by Logan's ink, now a signature swirl of flame and flight. Business was therapy, each needle buzz a meditation, clients bearing skin and souls. A trans teen etching affirmations in binary code, a widower memorializing his wife in cherry blossoms. "Pain's the price of beauty," Elijah would say, wiping excess ink, echoing Logan's old mantra from late-night rants about scars. Privately, the healing stuttered. Logan's absence echoed in empty corners, the hook where his helmet hung, now a shadow puppet, the fridge stocked with almond milk but no bourbon. Elijah dated, coffee with the barista, Alex, whose laugh crinkled his eyes like creased origami, walks in Prospect Park where they fed ducks and swapped playlists. It was easy, uncomplicated, no firehouse calls yanking Alex away, no drunken confessions appending their rhythm. But sex felt like choreography, efficient but soulless. Elijah's mind drifting to Logan's rough edges, the way he'd bite just hard enough to mark territory. The betrayal's ghost lingered too, not Logan's alone but his own, the hesitation that maybe pushed Logan toward Tyler's arms, the closet that choked their air. Therapy unpacked it. Sessions in a sunlit office overlooking the Gowanus, Dr. Rivera nodding as Elijah vented. "I trusted him with my heart, but not the world." Was that fair? Fairness, Dr. Rivera said, was a myth in love's ledger. Growth meant auditing the debts. August brought a curveball. Marcus, Logan's old academy mate, now a detective with the NYPD, knocking on Elijah's door mid-afternoon, badge glinting like misplaced sunshine. "Got a favor," he said, stepping in amid the scent of antiseptic and sage smudge. Tall and lanky, with a mustache that screamed 70s cop show, Marcus had been Logan's rock best man material if they'd made it that far. Elijah poured iced tea, the AC humming futile against the heat. "Shoot, it's Tyler," Marcus grimaced, like the name soured his tongue. "That clip he posted? Turns out it wasn't just pettiness." FDNY's auditing Logan's file, routine after a line-of-duty death, but Tyler's spinning shit. Claims Logan was impaired that last shift. Boozing off-duty. Unstable. Could taint the benefits. The pension you're getting. Elijah's gut iced over. The room tilting. Impaired? Logan was 6 months sober. "A chips don't lie." Marcus nodded. pulling a folder from his satchel, printouts of Tyler's socials, escalating from snide posts to outright venom. Heroes or hazards? Ask the Widowmaker. Guy's got an ex. After you too. Logan ghosted him hard. Now he's lawyered up, whispering to investigators. I need your statement on record about the night at the dive. Clear the air. The ask landed heavy, dredging the mud Elijah had shoveled over that memory. Testifying meant reliving the bar's haze. Logan's hand in Tyler's lap, the gloss on his collar like accusatory war paint. Why me? You're Logan's brother-in-arms. Because you're the one he loved. The truth from you? Gold. Marcus's eyes softened. Firefighter to firefighter. Logan's legacy. Don't let this prick bury it. Elijah agreed, stomach churning. The interview set for the next week at one police plaza. Nights blurred into rehearsals in his head. Mirror monologues under fluorescent buzz. Yes, Logan slipped. But he fought back. Harder than most. Alex listened over takeout pad thai. Head on Elijah's shoulder. You're brave as hell. Their first overnight followed. Tentative spoons in Elijah's bed. Alex's breath steady against his neck. But dawn brought dreams of Logan. Waking Elijah sweat damp. Guilt a bitter aftertaste. The deposition was a sterile box. Fluorescent hum. Court reporters' keys clacking like impatient fingers. Tyler's lawyer. A slick weasel in pinstripes. Probing with veiled barbs. So, Mr. Ramirez, you witnessed Mr. Hayes intoxicated at this establishment, engaging intimately with my client. Elijah leaned forward, voice level as a horizon. Intoxicated, yes. Intimate? Your client's hand was on his thigh. Uninvited, from what I saw. Logan pushed him off. Went home with me. Cleaned up his act after. The words flowed. Truthful thorns. Painting Tyler as the snake. Logan as the flawed phoenix. The lawyer blanched. Questions fizzling. Marcus texted later. Nailed it. Pension secure. Relief washed in waves. But so did backlash. Tyler's posts ramped up. Doxing light. Elijah's parlor address slipped into comments. Vague threats from trolls. Fag enabler. Hate mail trickled. Envelopes with slurs scrawled in Sharpie. Dumped unopened in the East River. Alex urged caution. Block. Report. Move on. But Elijah couldn't. Anger simmered. A forge for his next canvas. A mural of shattered glass reforming into a skyline. Logan's compass etched in the spire. September's equinox brought convergence. The gallery show, Mosaic Wounds, opened to a packed house. Soho's elite rubbing elbows with Elijah's ink crowd. Chardonnay flowing like absolution. Alex arrived on his arm, proud and present, but Elijah's eyes scanned for ghosts. Marcus showed, toasting with a wink. Even Elijah's parents flew in, tentative bridges mending over awkward hugs. His dad admitting, gruffly, proud of you, son. Logan's watching, midway. A familiar face pierced the throng. Tyler, uninvited, man bun oiled, suit ill-fitting his bitterness. He cornered Elijah by the bar, breath hot with entitlement. Nice sob story. But Logan's no saint. That night, he wanted it. Elijah's vision tunneled. The room's murmur fading to a roar. Get out, he said. Low thunder. Before I call security, or worse, Tyler sneered, stepping closer, cologne cloying. Or what? You'll cry to your dead boyfriend. The slap echoed. Elijah's palm cracking against Tyler's cheek. the crowd gasping like a collective inhale. Security swarmed, hauling Tyler out amid flashes from phones. But the damage bloomed. Viral again. Headlines twisting artist assaults at queer exhibit. Protests erupted outside the parlor next day. Picketers with signs "No heroes for haters," but also counter-hate. Slurs spray-painted on the door. Alex stayed, mopping up. "We weather it." But Elijah saw the strain. Alex's canceled shifts from media glare, the way his hand hesitated on Elijah's waist. Love under siege. The American grind exposing cracks. Climax crested in a rooftop redux. Not the Pinnacle, but Elijah's building, a DIY party to reclaim the narrative. Friends gathered. Marcus grilling kebabs. Dr. Rivera spinning vinyl. Parents mingling stiffly with drag queens. Alex pulled Elijah aside at dusk. Skyline bruising purple. "This is intense. This is good. But are you ready?" The question hung. Logan's echo in the wind. Elijah kissed him. Soft. "With you?" "Yeah." But as night deepened, Tyler's shadow loomed. Texts from burners. "Karma's coming." Paranoia peaked. Elijah slept with a bat by the bed. Alex's reassurances fraying. Then, the drop. Marcus calling at midnight. Voice edged. Tyler's unhinged. "Just raided his place. Stalker shit. Photos of you too. He's in custody. But watch your back." Elijah's world contracted. Betrayal sequel starring a ghost's revenge. He clung to Alex. The city lights mocking from below. Promises of reinvention. But at what cost? October's chill chased summer's fever. Leaves carpeting Astoria in crimson regret. The air crisp with cider and unspoken reckonings. Tyler's arrest hit the tabloids low-key. Jilted lover stalker spree. Enough to vindicate Elijah but not erase the scars. The parlor's door repainted thrice over with defiant murals. Fists raised in ink-black solidarity. Clients surged, turning mosaic wounds into a movement. Elijah's waitlist stretching to spring. His story a queer rallying cry in podcasts and zines. From betrayal to badass. One host quipped, and Elijah laughed. But inside, the mosaic still shifted, pieces refusing permanence. Alex anchored him, their rhythm solidifying. Mornings tangled in sheets, his barista shifts syncing with Elijah's late inks. Evenings at hole-in-the-wall Takarius debating Scorsese versus Spielberg. Sex evolved, playful now. Alex's teasing nips drawing giggles. Not ghosts. "You're healing," Alex said one night, tracing Elijah's phoenix tattoo as they lay spent, city hum lulling them. "And damn, it's hot." But healing's non-linear, a spiral not a line. Logan's memorial marker, a plaque at the firehouse, brass etched with his name and badge, drew Elijah back to Queens, monthly visits turning ritual. He'd sit on the curb, thermos of black coffee steaming, watching trucks roar out on calls, whispering updates. "Sold out the show." Pops came around. "Miss your chaos." Grief softened to gratitude. Logan's fire kindling Elijah's own. Courage to claim space. Unapologetic. The humanistic turn came unbidden. Thanksgiving Eve. Elijah's parents hosted in Ohio, a ranch house in Dayton, turkey brining in the garage, his mom's apple pie cooling on wire racks. Logan would have hated the Midwest blandness, but his spirit tagged along in the compass on Elijah's wrist, ticking like a heartbeat. Dinner was a minefield navigated with grace. Dad's awkward toast. To family, blood or chosen. Mom's quiet questions about Alex. Met with Elijah's honest glow. He's steady. Good. Post-feast. Bundled against the frost. Elijah and his dad walked the leaf-strewn yard, stars pricking the velvet sky. About Logan, Dad started. Hands jammed in pockets. Voice gravel. I was wrong. Feared for you. This life. But seeing you now strong. Creatine. That's what matters. Wish I'd met him. Elijah's throat tightened. Tears freezing on lashes. He'd like you. Mets fan. Through and through. Laughter bridged the gap. Father-son now allies in acceptance's slow burn. Back inside. Mom pulled him aside. Slipping a photo album, childhood Elijah. Gap-toothed grins amid cornfields. We adapt. Honey. Like you. The flight home crystallized it. Betrayal's sting dulled to lesson. Trust not blind leap but earned bridge. Alex met him at JFK. Sign scrawled my artist returns. Sweeping him into a kiss amid baggage claim chaos. Missed you, Alex murmured. And Elijah believed it. Whole. Winter deepened their bond, New Year's on a Hudson cruise. Fireworks blooming over the water like Logan's last blaze. Arms linked as Auld Lang Syne swelled. Elijah proposed a pact over champagne. No secrets. We build, not burn. Alex grinned, sealing it with a vow. Deal. Forever's the goal. Spring bloomed defiant. Cherry blossoms dusting the park like confetti from a queer parade. Elijah's parlor expanded. A satellite in Chelsea. Walls alive with guest artists. Events blending ink and activism. One night, mid-session on a burly sailor's chest. A siren calling ships to safe harbor. The door chimed. Marcus, grin wide, arm around a woman with fire in her eyes. Meet Lena, he said, her handshake firm. Logan's old partner from Engine 24. Heard you're the man for memorials. They inked a tribute that night. Flames weaving into waves. Logan's initials hidden in the crest. Stories flowing over beers. Logan's pranks. His quiet charities. The way he'd light up at Elijah's name. Closure. Partial but potent. Came Memorial Day. The department's annual barbecue in Flushing Meadows. Grills smoking brisket. Kids chasing frisbees under the unisphere. Elijah arrived solo. Alex on shift. But the crew enveloped him. Stories of Logan a chorus. Saved my ass in that 23 flood. Taught me to love fierce. A quiet moment by the lake. Marcus handed him Logan's old lighter. Engraved light the way. He'd want you keepin' the fire. Elijah pocketed it. Tears salt on his tongue. Then joined the volleyball game. Spiking serves with borrowed ferocity. Laughter rang true. Grief a thread not a noose. Summer circled back. The cycle complete. Elijah and Alex road-tripped Route 66 Light, New York to Chicago. Diners and motels blurring into Americana montage. Pie at truck stops. Makeouts under neon vacancy signs. Tattoos added impromptu in a Kansas City shop. A shared constellation on their ribs. Stars linking past to now. This is us, Alex said in a Moab motel. Red rock glowing through curtains. And Elijah nodded. Logan's echo a harmony. Not dirge. Betrayal's arc bent toward humanism. Logan's drunken outcry a catalyst. Tyler's spite a forge. Losses pruning for growth. Elijah mentored now workshops for queer youth. Needles teaching resilience. Scars tell stories. Own yours. His parents visited. Dad inking a subtle anchor on his forearm. For the family voyage. Mom beaming at Alex over brunch. The most dramatic frame lingered, that imagined rooftop. Not of shatter but rebirth. Elijah alone under stars. Shards at his feet reassembled into a lantern. Light spilling gold over the skyline. Realistic. Raw, wind-tousled hair. Eyes fierce with quiet triumph. The Hudson whispering you made it. In New York's eternal hustle, Elijah walked lighter. Love a compass true. Trust, rebuilt daily, brick by vulnerable brick. And in quiet moments, he'd flick Logan's lighter, flame dancing brief and bright, a toast to the boy who'd burned to set him free.